Welcome to Unifier TV, where truth has no fear. I've been getting a lot of messages about what Charlie Kirk said about black pilots. Why don't we just hear from the man himself? Mr. Kirk, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so last year you said something about DEI, unqualified black pilots. You see a pilot on a black pilot. Don't you think it was an irresponsible statement suggesting that maybe these pilots aren't qualified or unqualified?
No, but I'll
So,
tell you exactly what I said and why I said it. If
okay,
that's
go
okay.
ahead.
I said the pretext. I went through a whole windup. I said United Airlines is saying that they want 40% of all their pilots to be people of color or women. We have learned that we have relaxed standards anytime that we try to reach racial quotas. Anytime we reach racial quotas, we relax the standards. Standards for air traffic control, professors, or college admissions. Therefore, when it comes to pilots or surgeons, if I see somebody who is black, as I said on the show, I'm going to hope that that person is qualified. That's what I said, which of course is legitimate because they're begging the question, we're not hiring based on merit anymore. We're hiring based on race.
Now,
So when you see a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? That's what DEI does. It makes you ask questions you otherwise would not ask.
And that's fair. To me, that's fair, right? DEI as a whole, just making sure something is there just so they can seem fair without actually making sure that everything's up to par. And we're looking at who benefits from this, and people try to say, "Oh, it's to benefit homosexuals because they are typically ostracized." First of all, no one cares who's gay. Honestly, no one really cares. Seriously, it's just that when a lot of people want to be loud and proud, that's when they draw negative attention. Like typically, no one cares how you live your life, no matter how Christians feel about it. You don't handouts are not what you want as Black people. You shouldn't want anyone to give you anything out of pity, out of any for any other reason other than the fact that you earned it, because otherwise it's an insult. Just like the whole thing about voter IDs, Biden and the administration insulted Black people, and Black people bit and went with it, and they basically told you you are not qualified enough, not intelligent enough, not even knowledgeable enough on how to get an ID, and that's why voter ID laws are um, a pariah in the Black community. How many Black people that you know seriously don't have an ID? And if you were to ask them why they don't have it, would they really say, "I don't know how to get one"? How do I get one of those? What's an ID stand for?
so the airline industry is going to take an unqualified person just based off diversity and put,
Underqualified, not
or correction, yeah,
underqualified.
unqualified, underqualified, whatever, uncertified,
Well,
and put them in a
those are
cockpit
no.
and risk people's lives.
Those are two different things. Under and un are two different things. Of course, United Airlines will not take someone off the side of the street and put them into a pilot. But in order to reach a 40% goal, they might cut corners. They might accelerate the process in order to reach a goal. We know this through all sorts of DEI examinations and projects over the last 10 years. When you have to choose in life, either excellence or racial quotas will end up being the most important, and both cannot simultaneously exist. It's never happened before.
Okay, so when we talk about DEI, well, who benefits the most? Because black people really don't. It's only like maybe 3 to 4% of black people actually benefit from those programs. So who?
Flat out lie. Flat out lie. Because if that wasn't the case, if that wasn't the case, why did so many Black people get upset when DEI programs were shut down? You saw more Black people upset about DEI programs being done away with, and when affirmative action wasn't used anymore for college admissions. But they say, "Oh, we didn't benefit the most from it." Then why are you upset?
Why was DEI necessary in the first place? Or people, or at least the government thought it was necessary in the first place.
Why do I think that it would?
No, why would the
Do you
government?
want my well-intentioned explanation or the?
Whatever you got.
I mean, DEI was obviously about trying to destroy the excellence of the country and elevate racial tribal politics.
Okay, so if you don't have the racism, right, and then you'll need that program. So you eradicate the racism, and that eliminates the need for any kind of.
Someone actually asked me this exact question earlier on social media, and they said, "Well, you know, why was DEI put in place in the first place?" And they thought they were going to answer their own question by telling me that, "Oh, it's because of racist people like you, why it was put in place in the first place." Now, Charlie gave a more intelligent answer, but my raw, real answer is DEI was put in place because of the crybaby, woke community of people who think that someone's out to get them. They want to cry victim, want to cry wolf, pretending like they're so underfoot, like society really gives a damn how they live their life, and they just come for them. And in reality, they are convicted by their own lifestyle because they know that the choices they make, the things they do, how they act, is a problem. And when someone points it out, and when someone says something, even when that doesn't happen, I think a lot of people assume that someone is looking at them a certain way, or this opportunity didn't work out because I'm black, because I'm gay, because I'm this and that. Maybe it's that chip on your shoulder that you allowed to affect your attitude, and you ruined the opportunity that you had. I actually saw a video of a girl who was actually happy because she got a job as a nurse or RN, what her title was, but she was gonna be working in the medical field directly with patients with no solid credentials. She actually was bragging about that on TikTok and said, "Yeah, I don't have this and that, but look what I did." And she's actually trying to help other people do the same. That's a problem. That's what DEI does. It puts people in places that they don't belong.
When I go in for surgery, I want my surgeon to be the best surgeon. And here's where we can
I would
agree.
agree with that.
We
Yes.
want a merit based society, not a race based society.
I say we should have started that way from the beginning, but at any rate, then the last thing, I don't want to hog the mic, but I'll just say
That's
this
fine.
last thing. So you talked about, black fathers, absentee and all this other stuff and everything else. I actually agree. Okay, yeah, more, more fathers in the home and everything else. That's wonderful stuff. The thing is that you also said, and I'm looking at some of your stuff previous, that there's a system in place that actually incentivizes women to make babies without husbands,
It's a
right?
great society.
Take that away,
I
and
agree.
then that this problem essentially goes away.
I agree.
Now, I would ask this question also: what percent of black men do you think are abandoning their homes right now?
Well,
as it relates?
we know that it's actually 60 to 70%.
That well, okay, then you'd actually be wrong because the CDC actually submitted a report in 2023 that says 54% of black men don't even have children.
But that's
54%.
those are
So
two,
so you
no, no, those are two different numbers, man.
That doesn't make sense. You're arguing statistics of people who don't have kids against statistics of those who do. Can you make that make sense? It's funny. These people argue just because they want to hear themselves argue, and they think they're going to catch them in a point where it's like, "I got you." But that's my opinion. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will definitely see you on the next one.